Welcome to the tour of the 5 worst parks I've ever built in Jurassic World Evolution 2. I don't know why I'm making this video. I want people to watch my channel. It's probably going to make people not want to watch my channel. But anyway, this park is not a replication exactly, but based on the original Jurassic Park. You can see me walking down this path. There's the raptor facility, which looks decent, but it's kind of hard to mess that up. And we're running through this fast because there's 5 parks to tour. Alright, you saw back there the path is even. I'm really uneven. Here we have, oh, there's our E-Stock sign. This park is really helped by just the decorations. It would be so horrible without them. But anyway, up here is the Parasaurolophus and Brachiosaurus enclosure. The enclosure work is not great. Alright, here I'm gonna get in a car. So this leads down the central path. We have another viewing gallery into the Brachiosaurus and Parasaurolophus enclosure. Nothing here is built evenly. This is very painful to watch. I feel like this is kind of insulting if somebody like builds parks that are about this good and they are happy with their parks, but I was happy with this park when I built it. And usually when a new update comes out, I don't go back into my parks and change things, but this park and the next one I'm going to show you, I did change that when the decoration update came out. Here's the visitor center. I had the tour building behind it because in the actual Jurassic Park, the tour just comes in front. There's a little guest area continuing on. Here we're going to go through the enclosures. We start with Pachycephalosaurus. That's supposed to be where I think it was Microceratus was there in the book. Maybe it was Hashilodon. But anyway, there's the Jurassic Park gates. You'll notice it's nighttime. I'm not going to change the time settings. There's tool officer enclosure. Look, that path on that I put the sign on is even uneven. I couldn't even make it a minimum length path. Anyway, so what was I saying? I don't remember. Oh well. Here's the T.rex with the giant sunken pit. Oh gosh, this is so painful to watch. There's our T.rex. Alright, we're gonna keep going just along this tour route. Seriously, why am I making this video? This is gonna make people not watch my channel. I didn't even use the right fence. We literally have the right fence in the game. After this, I'll make a video of tour my 5 best parks. Alright, here we go. Just along this tour route. I was gonna drive the car, but it's a little bit faster to walk. Oh, and here I actually did something that I do kind of like. Um, you can see here, I'm gonna speed it up. When the cars they go on a hill, they can actually fall off the track. So you're looking at it sort of angled into the exhibit. I shouldn't have the terrain of the exhibit raised like that though, because then you can't even. The only part you can see is the cliffside. But this is our Metrocanthosaurus exhibit. And also, if the enclosures are in the wrong order, they're not actually based on where they're actually supposed to be or what they should look like. Here, look, I even have Stegosaurus, which wasn't even in the original Jurassic Park. For some reason, I have Megalosaurus, which definitely wasn't. And I put Suchomimus when Suchomimus was not in the original Jurassic Park. Baryonyx was, though. Alright, so here we have, like, the East Dock, was what I was going for, with, like, all the facility buildings. A little bit outside the main tour, which takes up the main area of the Nublar 1993 map. Here's a separated guest area. So the idea behind this park when I built it was, first I'm going to build everything that was in Jurassic Park, and then I'm going to add on what I think would have been built after they finished building it. So I built some more guest areas. You'll see that we've got an aviary that I built. Oh, we're getting into your tour. Alright, let's wrap up this park. So you keep going along the tour, and there's another stop on the tour. Then there's this horrid path right here. Look at those uneven fountains and trees. And they even know how to keep the path the right distance from it. Oh, this is so bad. Okay. So we got some amenities that are way too colorful. A lagoon with the sunken base. I put too many lagoon creatures in here. I couldn't decide which one I wanted. I did just put Tylosaurus and plesiosaurus at first. Um, well, no, that's yeah, Tylosaurus and plesiosaurus. But when I was making this park, that was before everything was unlocked by default in Sandbox. And so I hadn't even actually put in some of those creatures. I hadn't unlocked all the creatures yet. So then I added Liopleurodon and Ichthyosaurus when I unlocked them. Because this is just sort of where I was testing them out. And we didn't have the lagoon drones yet. Alright, and here's our Jurassic Park 3 themed aviary with the JP3 pterodons. That's about it for this park. I'm gonna go on to the next park. Alright, this is Jurassic Park San Diego if it was completed. Like the Chaos Theory prompt, except I didn't build it in Chaos Theory, I built it in Sandbox. And I think that my Chaos Theory park today would actually look better. So let's see, we actually have a pretty decent guest count, but that's just because of the dinosaurs. Alright, so we go back here, the control center, I think always looks like a new visitor center. So I wanted to use that as an alternate. I don't like using the visitor center all the time unless it's for replication or something because it makes sense that you build that exact same building. Same reason I don't use the innovation center a lot. So we just have a few enclosures around here. Ginosaurus, Dilophosaurus. This is like the main guest hub where you come in first. Okay, where to go next? Alright, let's see, yeah. Okay, to the right, we have some thing. The guests are gonna get quite a workout by walking here. Oh, this is actually a cool idea that I still like to do. Use those white tents as like make a campground. And here I use the big Kintrosaurus and the small Kintrosaurus and the larger Rhinosaurus and the smaller Rhinosaurus to make adults and babies. And here we have the docks. Obviously the map doesn't go to the ocean, so I just built it at the edge of the map. It's this is the thing that I built. I do remember it took a very long time to fill in all that path. Let's see, what else is there? Gosh, this park just looks so bad looking back at it, but I was so happy with it when I built it. When you're building a park, that's what really matters. It doesn't matter if it really is good. It matters if you're happy with it. Oh, and here, I want to do something unique with the lagoon, so I put pylons over the entire thing for some reason. I don't know what's that's actually supposed to be. Um, I don't know. Maybe they're gonna feed it just a lot of sharks. Oh, and here we have a hill with an aviary, which I actually think is a nice idea. And I put Troplagnathus because I didn't want to use Pteranodon. And this area is the nature walk. Um, Fences are still a little too obstructive. I would have liked to use the invisible fences, but we didn't have those yet when I built this park. This was just after Update 2 when I built this. So as we walk through this uneven path where I can't get the lights in the center, we have different kinds of dinosaurs and prehistoric foliage. It could be like an experience that it's a nature walkthrough. We have Allosaurus, um, Metrocanthosaurus, Gallimimus, Brachiosaurus. And here's our swamp exhibit, which also has uneven path. I did put the lights throughout it, which still looks good. And there we have Supermamus and Baryonyx. And Park 3. This one doesn't necessarily count to the park. This is my replication of Isla Sorna. And it's a thing that I built. And there are dinosaurs in it. And it's not as bad as some of the other stuff. It does have horribly exaggerated terrain features, like you'll see right here, this lake with just a gigantic circular island in the center. I used the DFW building set. I don't remember why. There was a specific reason that I used that one. I think it was the decorations that I wanted for the worker village. Yeah. So here's the worker village. The raptors seem to have moved up to the hill where the T.rex are. Kind of a bottleneck here, but this is supposed to be the herbivore valley that we see on the river in Jurassic Park 3. Spinosaurus. Lots of T-rex. Here's the fence that the Spinosaurus broke, which of course is the wrong fence since I'm using DFW. And of course the aviary. I didn't even deactivate the aviary viewing gallery. Wow. Sad. My escape parks from this time were even better. I'm gonna make some tours of my escape parks because some of those I'm really happy with. All right, that's basically it for this one. It's just a dinosaur preserve that I built quite a while ago, and I'm not happy with it today. That's about all I have to say on this park. Yeah, I mean, but it's kind of hard to do it wrong with the jungle biome. You just can walk through the trees and it still looks cool no matter what you put there. I did use too much prehistoric foliage though. There's the river that the boat sails down in Jurassic Park 3. And on to the next park. So this one is part of a series of 5 parks that I built called Jurassic World Oregon. And the idea was after Jurassic World was built, assuming the Indominus didn't break out, the events of Jurassic World didn't happen, they just kept going. Oh, one thing about the monorail here. You can see where it sort of goes behind the hill. The idea is it goes into the ground, and the entrances on the Jurassic World building set, those are subway tunnels to the monorail, which goes underground and connects all 5 parks because I wanted to build this gigantic park for Jurassic World Oregon, which is when they needed to keep building the second location of Jurassic World. And um, but the maps in the game were not big enough because we didn't have the square maps yet. This was probably April that I built this last year. So yeah, about a year ago. Um, but I do think this park series shows the progression of me as a builder because the first few parks are kind of bad. They get better. Now the entrance guest area is not that bad. It looks okay. But as we go down this path, things get messy in the park. So you can go right or left here. Right is a tour. This is the abandoned facility tour, which is a neat idea that I haven't done in a while. But as you go in, it does not look like an abandoned facility. This is supposed to be like a paradise at first, dinosaurs, and then you go into the abandoned facility. Yeah, it's a park. Then on the other side we have our carnivore exhibits. I'll go to that in just a second. I could spend more time on these tours, but I'm trying to speed through this. Anyway, Jurassic World Oregon, I built across all 5 taiga/alpine maps that we had at the time. And no, this has to be later than April, because no, I guess it was April, yeah. Alright. I actually do like the look of this exhibit a little bit, even still, despite it being so old. I would have added more ground foliage today, but I like the idea of it. With the Allosaurus and the Margosaurus. So yeah, this entrance guest area does not actually bother me that much, really. I used the restroom too many times because I needed small buildings to fit in spots. But, oh, one thing I like to do is use the staff centers as a guest building, which I didn't. On to the next one. So in Jurassic World Oregon, the 5 parks in it were targeted towards the different guest types. There's the 4 guest types. And the first one I showed you, which is like the entrance area, this one is for the general type guest. So we have kind of a small entrance area, smaller than I would have liked, but I do still like it. It just doesn't seem big enough for a park that's going to have 10,000 people every day. Alright, so there's the Innovation Center. These is the Botanical Gardens of Prehistoric Plants. And then over here we have a Hawaiianosaurus exhibit. You can already see that this park is a little bit better than the last one, I think. But it's still not a great park. So you see this mountain ridge in the middle of the park, and you can go in front of it or behind it. Behind it, we have that Ceratosaurus exhibit, which you notice the fence isn't closed because my idea is that it actually just keeps going. That's at the edge of the map, you can see there. And here are the 4 restrooms. I don't know why there are 4 restrooms. It seems like they just make 1 restroom. Or have a bigger restroom. But anyway, next building, I keep saying anyways way too much. I actually do that in a lot of my videos. So here's Mosasauri and Nasutoceratops. And here's a Coelophysis exhibit. And yeah, there's not really much to this part. Oh, here's one cool thing. So sometimes the marine reptiles, if you make a lagoon like this where there's a missing section, they'll try to swim through it and they'll get stuck on the ground. So what I did was I sent this capture team to tranquilize the Ismailosaurus stuck in the ground, but of course it can't. So the helicopter is on loop forever, and I think that looks cool. But that's also the Megalosaurus exhibit. So yeah, I do think having the helicopter there is a neat trick, and it looks interesting. You could pretend it's a helicopter tour or something. But there are lots of ways to get dinosaurs in places where they can't be tranquilized, and then oh, and here's Parasaurolophus lux exhibit. They glow in the dark. Well, but it's daytime right now. And oh, here's something I still like to do. Is have an isolated area, like a comfortable area outside of guest view where they can go. You know, like at zoos. You know, they always have like those barns that the animals can go to. There's always somewhere for them to go where you can't see them. So I like to do that for my dinosaurs sometimes. The park build that we're doing on the channel right now, I did that for the Giganotosaurus. Alright, where to next? See, there's, yeah. This is just a really disappointing part now, but I was really happy with it then. Yeah, so here's our hotel section. Over here is, you can tour the facilities, but that's not actually the real facility. Oh, this is an under construction exhibit, which is something I really still like to do. You can see I put the rocks in perfect rows. I should have raised the terrain here like this. Yeah, well, the terrain brush is a little too big, but you see what I mean, to make it look like a pile of snow that they're going to put into the exhibit. It's something I really like to do, but it doesn't work well with all the building sets. It works best with Jurassic World building set. Um, yeah, basically, you see what I mean, like putting like a pile of snow. And then also to the right of here, we have the lodges, which are a place for rich guests to come stay if you want to like stay the week. Let's say you live South California, you don't want to stay in the big hotel. You can rent the Jeeps and stay there. Then we have an aviary section up here and a Spinosaurus exhibit. This is before they fix the glitch with the pterosaurs flying out of the aviaries. So we have a couple loose pteranodon. And that's about it. Uh, thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. Well, it's kind of hard to do with this horrible park. I'm gonna make a sequel to this video with my top 5 best parks, which I've already recorded. Hope to upload it next week, maybe. I'm uploading also a park build today, if this is still, well, time of release today. An episode of the park build, and that series I'm gonna start building more per episode. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.